Have you ever looked at your life and thought, why isn't anything working? You try, you fall, you hope, you get disappointed. It feels like, no matter how hard you fight, the world keeps pushing you down. But what if I told you that your struggles are not a sign of failure? They reassign that you being prepared. Because sometimes life has to break you before it can build you. Today's story is about a man who thought he lost everything, but in truth, he was only being shaped for something greater. So sit back and listen closely, because maybe, just maybe, his story is a reflection of yours. This is the story of a man named Ethan. Ethan wasn't born with much. He grew up in a small town, in a broken family, where love was scarce and dreams felt like fairy tales. His father left when he was 10, and his mother worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on. But Ethan was different. He believed that one day things would change. He dreamed of success, not to prove anyone wrong, but to prove to himself that he could rise. So, when he turned 18, he left home with nothing but a small suitcase, a few dollars, and a heart full of hope. He moved to the city, a place where millions dream and millions are forgotten. At first, things went well. He got a small job at a cafe, rented a single room, and promised himself, this is just the beginning. But life had other plans. Within a few months, the cafe closed down. Ethan lost his job, and soon after, he couldn't afford rent. He applied for hundreds of jobs and got rejected by almost every one of them. Each rejection letter felt like another punch to his soul. There were nights when he slept on benches, mornings when he skipped meals, and days when he questioned if anyone or anything cared at all. He started to believe he was cursed, that maybe success wasn't meant for him. And one night, standing under the streetlight with tears in his eyes, he whispered, God, if you're there, just give me one reason to keep going. But no answer came, only silence. The kind of silence that makes you question your purpose. Then came the turning point. One morning, while searching for a place to charge his phone, Ethan sat outside a small bookstore. Inside, an old man named Mr. Lewis was arranging books. He noticed Ethan, tired, hungry, and lost, and invited him in. Mr. Lewis offered him a cup of tea and said, You look like you've been fighting battles no one sees. Ethan nodded silently. The old man smiled and pointed at a book on the shelf. A book titled The Mountain and the Climb. He said, You see, young man, everyone wants to reach the top of the mountain, but very few want to climb it. And the climb is where you grow. The climb is where you become strong enough to stand at the top. Those words hit Ethan deep. Mr. Lewis offered him a job, not much pay, but a start. Ethan began cleaning shelves, organizing books, and sometimes reading late at night. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. He began reading stories of great people, people who failed hundreds of times before they succeeded. He realized something powerful. The world doesn't owe you anything, but life will always reward those who refuse to quit. Ethan started saving money. He began writing small thoughts, motivational quotes, reflections about his pain and what it taught him. At first, he thought no one would care, but he kept writing anyway. He shared his words online. Slowly, people began to notice. Messages came in, people saying, "Your words helped me get through the day. You gave me hope." And that's when Ethan realized his pain had a purpose. The very struggle that almost broke him was shaping his voice to help others rise. Years passed. Ethan's writing grew into a blog, then into a book, and eventually into a worldwide platform that inspired millions. He stood on stages, speaking to thousands, sharing the story of his lowest moments and how they gave birth to his purpose. And one day, standing on that stage, he looked up to the heavens and whispered, "Thank you for not answering me that night. Because if you had, I might have never learned how to answer myself." Ethan's story isn't just about success, it's about faith. It's about holding on when everything inside you wants to give up. Because sometimes God doesn't give you what you ask for, not because you don't deserve it, but because you deserve something better. When life feels unfair, when people walk away, when doors close, remember, the struggle you're facing isn't punishment, it's preparation. You're being shaped, refined, and strengthened for something that's not visible yet, but it's coming. And maybe, like Ethan, you'll look back one day and realize the nights that broke you built the version of you that could finally shine. So don't curse your storm. Don't run from your pain. Grow through it. Learn from it. Let it mold you. Because the same fire that melts the wax hardens the clay. If you're struggling right now, breathe. You're not failing. You're growing. Your story isn't over yet. Just like Ethan, your time will come. So keep walking, keep believing, keep becoming, because one day your story will be the reason someone else doesn't give up. This is your wake-up call. Don't give up. Your time will come.